Hello, guys. It's good to be back on here again. I hope you're doing well. Today, I have with me another guest, someone I believe you're going to love. So, in just a few minutes, I'm going to let her in. Okay. Hi, girl. I see you. Okay. Just making sure the sound and lighting and everything is okay. Okay, since our guest is already here, let's just go ahead. I'm going to let her join. Just going to send her an invite. Hi, girl. I see you. Hi, Caroline. Hey. How you doing?
Hi. Oh, not too bad. Sunday,
Yeah, I'm
getting ready
working
for
all.
tomorrow.
I hope you're not too tired for us. Oh,
I'll try not to
girl.
sound too tired.
You be I. Okay, guys. So this is Baaba. I'm not going to say much about her. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. So, Baaba, can you do us the honors of telling us who Baaba is in a few seconds or few words? Who will you describe yourself to be? Who is Baaba? Can I tell? Can I tell them your surname?
Wow.
Baaba Jenkins, like
Yeah, you can.
Jenkins.
Okay. I don't know which response to give, but I should give the
Give us
interview
the
response
elevator
or the church
pitch
response.
kind of
So,
introduction.
hey, it's been a while since I practiced that one, but okay. Hi everyone, my name is Bala Jenkins. The church
Yeah,
response because I'm a child of God. And then, what else? I graduated from the University of Ghana with a combined major in political science and French. Currently working in finance. Very passionate about motorsports and Formula One. What else do I want to do in life? I don't know. I guess the more questions you ask, the more people will find
that's
out
nice to
more
know.
about
That's
me, I guess.
lovely. I hope you guys are taking notes. And don't worry, afterwards, I'm going to leave her handles or her handles. So those of you who would like to follow her, you can do that. Okay, so moving on. You told us a lot about the things you do. You seem to have a busy life. So I would like to know, in your day-to-day life, what keeps you moving? What's your mantra for life? What keeps you moving?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a very good one. I guess, hmm,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say two of them. The first one would probably be
Tell
I can do all
me.
things through Christ who strengthens me
Mm,
because, like, honestly, it's facts. There are things that I know I wouldn't have been able to do if it hadn't been for God or if it hadn't been for just the belief and knowing that, like, at the end of the day, God is the one who has secured my future. So
yeah.
even if things are not going on well right now,
Mm,
it's going to be fine. And there's some sort of security and, just peace in knowing that because trust me, like the adults, they didn't tell
hey.
us, but it's not easy. The adult thing isn't easy. So yeah, just knowing that like it's all going to be all right because God's got your back. And the second one would be, oh, is this gay term that just slipped my mind? All things we're doing
Mm,
and we're doing well. Um, it just means that sometimes you just don't feel like putting your best into something that you're doing because you think maybe nobody is watching or it's not really worth your time. But like it really doesn't matter. Even the littlest of things will be the catalyst that can propel you
word,
somewhere. So it's
word.
very important to just do everything to the best of your ability,
That's so
essentially. Yeah.
interesting. That's so interesting. Wow, wow, wow. Whew.
Oh,
Oh no,
am
no.
I going
We,
too
we, we
deep? Okay,
like we
I'll be
like we
free
like that.
from
We like
now.
that. It's it's really interesting because as you said, adulting is not easy. Nobody told us. Like, there are times that I wish, like, you can't go back. That's the thing. You cannot undo the growth. You cannot undo the years. Yes, you are graceful for life. But you know, when I was younger, I just kept
Yeah.
looking forward to being an adult. Like,
Oh, that was only you. That's funny because I was
really?
never looking for it to be an adult. Like I knew
What?
the truth. See, that's the sad part. Like when I turned 18, I cried because I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's about time to start paying bills. And like from 18, you turn 80, you just don't
18
know
to
where the years
80, yeah?
fly. And honestly, really, yeah, we are like 18. I don't even want to disclose my real age, but I don't know where the
No.
past 10 years flew.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah. So I definitely knew it wasn't all it was cut up to be. I think a lot of people were focused more on
Mm-hmm.
like the independence, the freedom, and
Yeah.
like just being able to do your own things and do what you wanted. But I never forgot the fact that it's not
Yeah.
it's not as easy as it sounds.
Responsibilities,
Like it comes
yeah.
with
That's true.
responsibility. Yeah.
That's
So
true. Anyway, so there's this question I would like to ask you. I want your take on it. But before that, can you tell us about your educational background? I know you told us about you completing University of Ghana. How was it like? And prior to that, how was the journey before getting to University of Ghana, Legon? How
okay.
has the journey been?
So
No,
the
I think up to
journey to
this point
uni.
in your life, the
Okay.
educational journey or background.
Up to this point in my okay, so the first thing I can say is personally, what
Mm-hmm.
you study in uni doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like that I came to realize. I mean, people said it a lot, but it's been very practical in my life because obviously political science and
Mm-hmm.
French to finance is like a huge gap. And the funny thing is, I was actually trying to run away
Yeah.
from finance, but here we are. Like, obviously in senior high school there was I did arts, general arts, and then there was the option to do A1, which was I think a combination of literature, geography, and some other stuff. I think okay, I don't think we did government in my school, but a
Yeah.
mix like that. And then there was A3 where I ended up that had e-math, and my God, was I running away from e-math? Because I'm like, I don't like math. I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
Why are these people putting me in a math class? Anyway, safe to say, I
Really?
sort of bombed math. Sort of. Like, yes, because I got A's in every other subject except math,
Oh.
both core math and e-math. So that should tell you something. Like, I knew it anyway. And I was supposed to read law in uni. I say supposed to
Yeah.
because it was what was expected of me. Like people said, "Oh, you took a lot,
Would
you'd
do well.
probably like be good in law."
I
But it wasn't like
see.
something I was passionate about or something that I really
Yeah.
wanted to do, like a do or die affair for me. Because it was just one of those things.
Mm.
Like I said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So it wasn't like if I get it fine. If I get something else, it doesn't matter
Working
because I
for
know
your
like it
good.
will all end up fine. Yeah, so when I got political science, I was like, oh, I was actually happy because some boy I liked at that time said he was going to read political science. So I was like, oh, this is not bad at all, at all. So I don't mind. You see, this is why when you're a child, you don't base your
You know?
life decisions on feelings and boys because yeah, but it doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
was just happy about it anyways. I wasn't one of those people who were like, oh, I didn't get the course that I wanted, so like my world is over. I was actually very happy. And in hindsight, looking back, I don't think I'd have been a very good candidate for law
Um,
because law has a lot of memorization, and that's not how I learn. I don't learn by rote. I learn by understanding and just sort of paraphrasing my stuff. So I
yeah.
was like, my sister ended up doing law, even though she wasn't the one expected to do law. And then when I saw her struggling, I was like, this struggle, I could not have done it. I don't know. Like, I would have paraphrased and they'll tell me to quote something and I'll go and quote
Just
something
to be
else,
clear, please,
honestly.
Rama is now
So,
a lawyer.
yeah,
Please, let's
I
just be
think,
clear.
oh, yeah,
She
she
succeeded.
made it. Yes, yes, she made it. She succeeded in the law. And I'm so proud of her because, like, all the late nights that she had to do. And I see her studying, and I was just like, and even the interpretation of the law is something different altogether. And I think my mind works in a different way because I can make links where there are no links. So I'm like, hey, if these people had
Yeah.
told me to defend something, I would have gone to bring some code that I
Yeah.
thought was relevant. And they
You
told
see
me
the
it's not, but I
relation.
can see it. Did you get? So I can see it, but no one else can see it. Like I can always see this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, looking back, P Science and French, amazing. I loved it in school. Like I don't want to say that other people didn't study, but honestly, I
Yeah.
if you put the work in, you get results. And I didn't even
Mm.
have to put in that much work. That's what I'm trying to say. It was one of those courses like I knew people who didn't go for lectures and they were still making A's. As to whether they had seen the A's in a
Hey,
good
please,
way,
what are
I
you
cannot
talking
tell.
about?
I cannot tell, my lord. I cannot say, my lord. All I want to say is personally,
Yeah.
like when you put in the efforts, when you go for lectures, you go for tutorials, and then like you understand whatever is going on. What you write, like as long as it makes sense, they'll give you marks. That's all.
Okay.
I don't know. It was like social studies, and I was very good at social studies, and I love social studies. And then the French, I think fortunately for me, I've always been good at French, like
Yeah.
primary school going up. So it was just like natural course for me to choose French. And I always knew that I was going to try and be
Tell
somewhere in
me.
an international space where I would need French. So like, if for nothing at all, I chose every single like option
Mm.
French, something,
Mm.
something, something French. Every single option had French because I knew that, oh, no matter what, I was going to do French.
Mhm.
And I just used that like determination to start off, you know, it wasn't always easy. There was a point when we were like studying and it was time for year abroad. My mom said, nah, you are not going. And the whole basis of my life was on going for this year abroad. So I was like, oh God, if I don't go for this year abroad, what am I going to do with my life? Like people will go and come back and I'll be in a class with
Yeah.
level 500 students who can really speak the French and I can't speak the French. So what was the point?
Mm.
Have I wasted my life? Anyway, I prayed to the dear Lord Almighty and some way, somehow, I made it for year abroad, which was
Yeah.
also like a very eye-opening
Yeah.
experience. That's why
That's true.
obviously we became close. Um, and we met
Yeah.
different people, weird characters, funny people. It just like opened our minds and our eyes
Mm.
to different cultures, different people, how to relate to them, and like just generally finding oneself outside of like where you grew up, your family, your
Yeah,
I
you're
don't know,
not
your
totally
comfort
dependent on your
zone.
parents or your
And
family.
like and the struggles, like student life wasn't easy. Going shopping with was 30
Because
pounds
you
for
were
the
managing, you
man.
don't want to spend all your
I mean
money.
30 euros back then. Yeah, yes, we were managing. We didn't have the
You
money to
know?
spend. That was the difference, right? So like literally going
Oh
to
my
Leclerc.
God.
I can't believe this. With our
And
shopping bags
buying
and
that
looking
echo
for the
rice.
store brands and buying sausage for 0.88 cents and like doing serious shopping
Yeah.
and knowing that it had to last the month. And then like when you wanted to go out and treat yourself to where did
The
we used to
kebab,
go?
yeah,
Those
Ghanaian kebab place, yeah.
kebab joints. And you're like, hey, this 5 euro, I could have used it to buy 2 weeks worth of, groceries, but you just need to
You
treat yourself sometimes
know?
because you're human too. And yeah, like that's a great experience. Then coming back in the fifth year, I got to spend it with my sister because she's like 3 years younger than me. So that final year was really good to get us back in touch after a year abroad, and then like her being in uni, we got close again. We shared one room.
Yeah.
I got to meet her friends. I got to make
Please.
sure she didn't become a bad girl.
Please.
um, and what else? Yeah, so then the whole journey of trying to secure a good national service spot, because my mom kept telling me, I don't have connections like that. I don't want to go and
Mm-hmm.
beg somebody for a
Yeah.
spot for you. So you have to do what you have to do. So then we had to be on track for what's it called? Like going for it. Hey, I
Yeah,
don't know how many
I've
interviews I
applied to
went
lots of
for in
places.
that year, but
Mm,
like definitely making sure I had the first class, but knowing that
mm,
like the first class wasn't going to be the be all and end all, because like
yeah.
you can have first class and they'll throw you somewhere. You can have a first class and it doesn't even secure a job for you. So like knowing that and also working towards it and making sure that, I had
This
all
is
the
actually in
other
line with
things
the
in
question that I
place. So
wanted to
yeah.
ask you. I think mostly African parents, they place a lot of emphasis on success being directly linked or associated with school. Are you of that school of thoughts? Because
Yeah.
they make it seem like go to school, you become successful, you live your life. If you don't go to school, you don't do well in school, you don't become successful. Do you believe in that?
Honestly, I think there
Mm,
are points for both sides of the arguments, but the the main thing is we've gone through enough in life and seen so many other people in the
yeah.
perfect scenario that didn't get like the
Mm-hmm.
eventuality that they wanted to know better, right? So going to school helps, granted, but like at this point, I think even when you have a
You
master's,
know,
it's not really the best. Like you know people with
in your
masters who can't
PhD.
get jobs, and it's really not, yes, PhD is really not about it. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just pure luck,
Times
the
and
right
seasons.
timing. There are so many, so many things involved in like being successful, right? So yes, education helps, but honestly, it's not the only thing, if I should say. Like there are just so many factors that are involved to making a person successful. So
Nice. So
yeah.
moving forward, if you had to make a decision concerning your professional education, what is going to be the motivation? Is it going to be what you think you should do? What is popular in terms of for example, for now, tech is very popular. Lots of people are trying
Hmm.
to get into tech. So would it be based on what is popular, your strengths, or what you aspire to be in future, or what is lucrative in terms of a profession that is lucrative?
So definitely not what is popular, because obviously
Yeah.
it's just a matter of time before it's going to get saturated, right? Um, for me, the important things for my next move will obviously have to be praying about it, because honestly,
Invest.
you don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen next. Like at all. Like right now, tech can be popular, and then we've already seen so many
Doing
big tech
layoffs.
companies,
Yeah.
Microsoft, Google, cutting 10K jobs, right? Like somebody goes to work today and it's
That's
cut,
not
not
good.
because they are not good at their job, but like it just someone had to go, and unfortunately, it was you.
The way you say
So it's
it.
not about,
Yeah.
no, like it's a cold hard world out here. So definitely not that. I would, at this point, definitely something I'm passionate about. Apart from that, what else? Money definitely helps a lot. Yes, I guess that's why I'm still in the space I'm in right now, because if I don't have a good enough reason to move, like something I'm passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
something that's still going to
That's
be well
true.
paying, something that makes sense for my life in the direction I think God wants me to go, there's no point in moving just
Mm.
because everyone else is moving, right? That doesn't make sense. I feel like nowadays it's a trend. Oh, you work for a few years, go do your masters. But if
Go.
that doesn't make sense for
Mm.
you, there's no point
Yeah.
in doing it just because everyone is doing it, right?
Not to
Yeah.
make this moment sad, but I know of a gentleman who actually was working, started his master's, and he didn't even live to finish the master's. He actually lost his life. So it's not always about what you should or must do. We should always go with what the Holy Spirit leads us or what is best for us, because he put in so much effort and money, yet he didn't
Yeah.
even complete it. So life, who knows tomorrow? Like I don't promise of tomorrow. You know,
Yeah, no,
also need to
nobody
make the
knows
best of
tomorrow.
today. Like, anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
so do you find that as a woman, yeah, in a corporate environment, do you find that women are treated differently and in your case, a Black female in an international corporation, do you find that women in general and then Black females are treated differently than their male counterparts?
Okay, so that's very
Hi,
interesting, right? Because
Queen.
I
Queen
mean,
is
I can
on.
go on and
Hey,
on about
girl.
this. She can
Yeah.
probably also say a lot about this. So there are so many dimensions to this because first of all, you are female. That's like a whole different ball game together, like altogether. They're trying to do this. I don't know what they call it, like diversity, accountability, where they like each company should have a number of, let's say, female
Mm,
people in executive positions, earning the same pay as someone similar in like a
mm-hmm.
male person in their role should be earning as well, right? There are so many accountability checks right now,
Right.
but the gap is still so wide, and it's interesting. Like there was this day 2 or 3 weeks ago where we had a meeting,
Yeah.
like a team meeting across
Same.
London and Paris. And then I sat there for a second and I turned
Mm,
around and the room was filled with men. Like out of 35 people, there were 3 men.
what?
Sorry, 3 women. Myself and 2 others had just been
You
hired
don't
like
say.
this year. So I'm like, if they hadn't been hired, I would have been in a room with, I don't know, 28 other people
Wow.
who were just men. And to be fair, we were all also pretty junior. So it just makes it, I don't know. Sometimes, okay, the category
Mm-hmm.
of work also matters, right? Like there's like STEM fields, finance, those are still like a bit hard to access for women. And it all comes from the ground up because how do we know I don't know. How do we go to the grassroots and let women know that like it's okay not to run away from STEM.
Yeah.
It's okay not to run away from finance stuff because like we need a certain caliber of women to fill these roles. Like it's not just because oh we want to do like DNI, we want to make sure that women are in the
Mm,
role, so we just take anyone. And because honestly, I'm against it. Like I'm against women who are not qualified being put in certain roles because then in the long run it destroys what we are trying to achieve because it's like oh we put this woman here she couldn't do it so then it
mm,
feeds into a narrative that women shouldn't be in these roles
yeah.
because they can't handle it, which is wrong. So like we need to get the right kind of women in those positions so they trailblaze for everyone else like going forward to I don't know just make sure that the right women serve as right role models for younger people coming up as well. So yeah, as a Black woman, it's like I'm checking 2 boxes that have their own problems. Like Black people have their own problems, Black women have their own problems, and then like you combine it together, and it's like, yeah, I think they're trying to make it better in workplaces because,
Yeah.
as I said, it's a tick box these days. But you have to be so intentional about the way you speak, the things you say to make sure you're not triggering. Like, and it's
Yeah.
funny because it's reverse as well. Like, in as much as I need to say the right things, now it's like people also walk on
Mm,
tenterhooks around you because are you going to be the mad Black woman? Like, are they going to get
yeah.
into trouble for saying something? And then there are people who don't care and say the worst things. And it's like, why are you saying this in 2023? Why? You see, so it's just a, it's just navigating a field of landmines all over. I mean, yeah. Instead, I feel a let's say a white man wouldn't have to bother about a lot of
Mm,
things that come into our minds. Like, for example, a Black man walking down the street in the dark who sees a policeman, knowing all
yeah.
the tension that has been going on, the first thing that will come to mind is, am
Exactly.
I safe? Like, should I be here? Am I in the right place at the right time? Am I a victim of circumstance? Right? Like a white man walking there will feel safe and it would not even occur to the person like, oh, this could be dangerous for me. Like these are the 2 scenarios that people everywhere have to go through. Like when you come from a different background, your story is different, your reactions are different, the thoughts that go through your mind are different,
Mm,
just depending on the circumstance. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You just have to learn to work with it until somehow society corrects
Okay, so do
itself.
you believe in women negotiating their salaries or asking for promotions in these work
Hey, yes,
environments? Because
please, please ask. I mean, I'm not the best at it myself, right? But like you come to realize that this is what your male counterparts are doing, and you are not asking for it. So maybe, for example, the pay gap is that huge because we don't know the game as women. We don't know what our counterparts are doing, or we don't bother to find out, or we don't have the courage. Like a man will go into an interview and have this foolish confidence, and it's like, I have nothing to lose. Let me ask anyway. Like, what can you do? You just say no and give me something else. But if I ask, the chances are you say yes, or you give me, like, you meet me halfway. A woman will just be like, oh, let me sort of calm down and relax. And, I'll ask next year. Next year will come. You'll be like, oh, but I just got pregnant. And, like, I didn't spend so much time at work. This is not the right time to be asking, things like that. Yes. So definitely ask for your own pay rise, ask for your own promotion. You have to be very intentional about it as well.
okay, I see. Because in Ghana, mostly people are quite hesitant to negotiate such promotions and an increase in salary because they feel like, especially when you have a higher position than your other female colleagues, they feel like you're already in a space where like other people are not. So how dare you try to argue or
No,
ask for more money
no.
or even a promotion?
I mean, I don't want to say this, but like at a point you have to stop caring what other people think. Why are you being considerate of them when the least chance they
You
get, like they will fire you, or like if you die today, they are
they
replacing
already
you
have your
immediately. Like
replacement.
there is no point. Yes, there's no point in consider, like they don't care about you. You're just a body to them, right? So get what you can now, and like live a life of, I don't want to say be carefree, but like be bold, be courageous, get what you can when you can. Be selfish if you have to be, because they are not taking care about you. So like put so I'm not saying like don't do your job and just go and be asking for pay rise and promotions. Like do what you have to do. Be vocal about what you're doing. That's another thing. Like a lot of people work hard.
Yeah,
I don't know, it might be
being
a Ghanaian
unnecessarily
culture thing, an African
modest.
mentality thing. But lots of people work so hard and they are modest. And then you come into the international setting and you realize that people work and make sure that you know what they did. They will just type one word in a PowerPoint and attach themselves to the project, like, also I helped
Yeah.
with this project, blah blah. And you're sitting back like you were the one who spent 5 hours. You have not even mentioned to anyone that matters that, oh, I worked on this. Somebody came to type one word and has taken the glory. And when he's asking for a promotion or the rise, it's like he has a track record of saying he's been on all these projects while you were working hard in silence, thinking that, oh, somebody will spot what you're doing. Sometimes it works, most of the time it doesn't, right? Because they're also busy. And if you don't articulate yourself, if you do not shoot your own shots, people don't care. People want to give only when it benefits them. So why will I stand up to fight for
Yeah.
you when I don't see why I should? Like, honestly, if I'm not going to get anything out of it, there's no point in helping you. So you have to fight your own battles. You have to be your own like
That's
spokesperson,
great. This
essentially. Yes.
affirms a quote I just read prior to this live that during an interview, when hiring managers are interacting with new candidates, they look at the person's body language. They look at how much the person portrays that they know they are qualified or they are the one for the position. I think it's the same thing with women when they are working. If you don't believe you are worth it or you've earned it, you don't give that vibe. So people will just, I don't want to say override you, but they'll just overlook you. You don't, if you yourself you don't believe you deserve it, how much more those around you. So you actually need to believe that you deserve it for others to actually see it. Because when you believe it, you will show it, and then they'll have no option.
So just to add to that, right? It's not even about believing it because trust me, I have met so many people that do not know anything and they are
I
faking it so they make it and they are making it, right? So here we are, most of us like trying to get to a point where we know enough so we can say, oh, I know enough now, I'm confident to sell myself. No, these people don't wait to know anything. They don't wait. Like, even before they get there, they don't know, but they're like, yeah, I'm the guy. Come to me if you need anything. And I think that's something that the Ghanaian educational system failed to help us out with, right? It's almost like you are tentative, like you are afraid to try something if you don't know, because some of us we were in classes where, hey, if you don't know and you answer a question and you get it wrong, like, yeah, the teacher will shut you down in front of everyone, and it's just like a scarring experience. So you just don't have the confidence to, say something if you are not sure about it. But these are people who have been encouraged to try anyway. Like, even if it's wrong, have that confidence to say it. Like, they just have the confidence of not knowing. And the whole point is, even if I don't know, I'll figure it out. That's the mindset you should have, that confidence. Like, somebody is giving you work, don't say, hey, me, I don't know this. So just say, no problem. And then go and
try
figure
your
it
hands.
out. Like, go and find someone to help you figure it out, right? It doesn't mean go and lie and then you'll be stuck in a corner and you can't, like, deliver the project. It just means, becoming self-sufficient and knowing how to self-source information from different places so you can
The
give like
feedback,
proper, I don't know, results at the end of the day.
That's
Yes.
interesting. And I don't know if you realize, I think it's just something among white people, but I think the French people especially, and then when it comes to us, the Nigerians, they just have this confidence. Like, you're going to say it either ways, whether it's wrong or not, you're just going to be present. And just as the saying goes, being audacious or courageous or bold is not the absence of fear, but doing things with the fear. Like, just
In
pushing
spite of the
through
fear.
with the
Yes.
fear. So that's
Again, I think it's an error of our culture or our upbringing, right? In Ghana, we tout humility. Humility in quotes, because it's like everybody knows you did the thing and you did the thing, but it's like,
and
it's so like
no.
we've learned as a yes, like we've learned as a culture, it's
To
imbibed in us
downplay
to downplay our success, to
our
like, because
efforts.
if you say it yourself, so this is it, right? Just don't say yes yourself. Let someone say for you and say, oh, thank you, and be humble about it. That's fine. But like the moment you say it yourself, it's like,
She's proud.
yo, we are trying to
The
hold. Like,
arrogance.
she's proud. She's a braggart. Arrogance. Like, in fact, the fact that you dare, like you dare to stand up for yourself.
Who are
How
you?
dare you? You don't respect. I'm your elder. Like, see, you can be like, the person can be your colleague, but once they have 2 or 3 years over you, it's like, if you stand up for your work or like you stand up for yourself, it's like, hey, don't you know that the 2 years that I crawled before you, it means that you don't have
Like
the
that?
right to speak to me in that way. Like, yes. And it makes it so difficult to be efficient and do what you have to do, because it's like, you cannot even say that you did something and get the credit where it's due. So how are you asking for these promotions or like pay rises when the whole year you've been afraid to even say what's, and the worst part is your managers are taking the glory because you're not standing up for yourself. You're producing work for other people to steal. And I can't even say stealing because you literally hand it over to them. You're like,
It's
oh, here, I did
consensual.
this
Like,
work. Here, take it and
you
tell
know
people
about
you
it.
did it. Yeah, so it was something I had to unlearn. I'm probably still unlearning, but yeah, you definitely have to speak up for
And we
yourself
have to
and sell
show up.
yourself a lot.
I feel like
A
sometimes we
lot.
do the work, and let's say when it comes to, let's say you worked on a project, you don't mind doing the work, but you wouldn't like to present. So the one who didn't do the work gets to
Yeah.
present, and it looks like the person is more knowledgeable than you are. So I think it's not just enough being that person, but we also have to show up. You do the work and you show up, present,
Yeah.
speak up when you have to. Because if you don't speak up, it's like,
It's especially like if you know that your manager likes taking credit for what you've done. Like
yeah.
it's time to fight. I didn't come here to tell people to fight, but if you need to
And there
fight,
are ethical ways
fight
of doing that
because
too. So you don't have
see,
to be rude or
yeah,
disrespectful to your
definitely.
manager to be able to do that. Yeah, just to put that out there.
Oh, yeah, not at all. But like you
Mm,
can have a conversation with, like, it depends on how logical your manager is, obviously. But you can
mm,
have certain conversations with your manager, especially when you realize that your manager is like the kind of person
mm.
that he will listen, but like if you don't fight, he will just ignore you. Not because he wants to, but it's just because he doesn't
You
take
don't
you
take yourself
seriously. Because it's
serious,
like you
yeah.
yourself, you don't take yourself seriously, right? So when you have these sorts of career conversations and you realize that you have to be more vocal and get visibility, right? Then you add it to your career development plan. Like I don't know how many people even have that, but a lot of the time you have to take matters into your own hands. So when you're having these kind of conversations with your manager, you'd be like, I feel like I need visibility. So instead of just working in the background, I think that I would like to do one
Mm,
or two presentations in the next month. Like you have to start making demands. You have to start envisioning where you want to be and where you see yourself and put in
wow,
actionable
man.
steps to get there. So you need to like start having those conversations and being like, what do I need? Okay, I need this. How do I get it? These are the steps. Now, like when you go to your manager with this kind of a plan, it's like, okay, this person is serious. This is someone who knows what they want and is vocalizing it. So I am a bad manager if I do not facilitate this, right? And then you are always going to also have like a blueprint or a track record that honestly, this person
Mm,
is impeding my progress because at A, B, C points, I
mm.
knew what I needed. I told them what I needed, and they stopped me from doing it. Like you have a case. But if you just sit there and hope for the best, honestly, I've learned in life that it just doesn't work. Like hoping for the best, sadly, you have to fight. And that farmer nyame attitude, we are all Christian here. But even nyame say fight, so fight.
Yeah.
Essentially, just fight and yeah, be
So do
vocal.
what you can and leave what you can't to God.
Exactly. Exactly.
You have to
Yeah,
do,
but
yeah.
they're doing, you have to do some.
Mm, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. I would like to have your take on this school of thoughts. We are doing lots of school of thoughts this time around, but I just want to have your take about women, certain women attracting a certain type of, or a certain group of men. Do you feel that you attract a type, a particular type, based on your looks, and then also with hair? Because I find it interesting that women who wear their hair natural tend to have similar experiences, and women who are always in weaves have a certain experience. Is it the same for you, or is that your reality?
Wow. That's a very loaded school of thoughts. It's very interesting because I think different people have different experiences. And I personally haven't studied I've not, undertaken a study to
Mm,
collate what people are going through, but I think subconsciously, like generally, it really doesn't matter like who you are, what your hairstyle is, but your your damage sort of attracts the kind of
mm,
person you gravitate towards. So I don't want to say you attract certain kind of people, right? But there are certain vibes that we as people give off because of our damage, because of our upbringing, because of our mindset, right? That brings out like a
mm,
caliber of people towards you. So let me give you an example. You find yourself attracting, let's say, unavailable men, right? Or like men that are out of reach with their emotions. And you're like, I'm tired of these kind of men. These are not the kind of men that I want. But why do you keep attracting them, right? Sometimes when you dig deep enough or you go and sit on some therapy couch, you realize, oh, maybe that's how my dad was. And subconsciously, those are the men I instinctively find attractive. And then like you go a bit deeper with the person and you realize, oh, this person is unavailable. But maybe you should have known that from the start. But it didn't occur to you because the very thing that attracted you to him is the very thing you don't like, but you've always subconsciously gone towards. So, I mean, it's a bit dicey. I think, honestly, it will start with working on yourself and being self-aware. Like, what is your damage? Like, it's so important to know. What are the problems you face as a human being? Have you ever, like, done a deep dive on yourself? Have you taken a step back to find out, like, do I have damage?
You don't have
Do
a
I have
problem,
a
baby girl.
problem? Because it's so easy. No, but like honestly, it's so easy for everyone to cast their doubt or their blame somewhere else. It's like it's always someone else's fault. But before it becomes someone else's fault, have you done your own soul searching to realize that, oh, I have this pattern of gravitating towards this kind of person. Why? Like, as soon as you figure out why, you can go on that journey of self-correcting, and then you realize that things will start falling into place because you become more aware. Like, instead of allowing your subconscious to make decisions for you, you become more aware of like what your red flags are supposed to be. And then you start to avoid those kind of people, those kind of men. So it even applies to more than just like the men
Friends.
in your life. It applies to friends. It applies to the people you even call acquaintances. It's like only you
I
every day
know,
they are
right?
betraying you.
Some of
Why?
them is they're fearful.
Why are you? I
It's from
mean,
their father
sometimes
and
it's
mother's
not. You see,
house.
but this is the thing. Sometimes it's not even spiritual. It's just like you are made.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad to be naive and open, but maybe you are the problem in the sense that like you meet every Tom, Dick, and Harry today and tell your whole
Mm.
life story immediately. And people are always going to be people. They are going to try and take advantage where they can. So it's not that like everybody's always betraying you, but you are really opening the door for everyone. So yes, it's good to be naive, it's good to be innocent, it's good to believe the best in people and give benefits of the doubt. But like I just want to say that once a pattern has been established and you realize that no, this is becoming too much, and you really think you want to make a change, that's when you need to, like, personally, what I do, no matter what it is, when there's a situation, I'm harder on myself than on the other person. I cannot control what the other person has done, right? But I can control how I react to it. I can control what I do about it. So I take the parts of the case where I have control over, which is self. And it's like, okay, maybe it's mostly this other person's fault, but what did I do to contribute? Or what did I do to give the person the chance to do this? Right? And then from there, that's how you grow, that's how you build. You find what the problems are within yourself, or like the doors you leave open for people to cause trouble in your life. Right? So yeah. And
When are
when you
we?
see the red flags, do not
But
ignore.
but B, wait, let's
Don't
take it
ignore.
from this
Like a
angle.
lot of us
See,
like it.
sometimes
Like
it's actually not your fault. Let's say there are people who approach you. So this time it's not necessarily the people who you're attracted to, or people, not people you're attracted to, but the people who are attracted to you. Because maybe because of your body type, your face, there are certain people who be attracted to you. I feel like in that sense, you may not necessarily
facts.
be able to control it to an extent. Like someone
Yes,
walking to like they want to buy
definitely.
you
But
some
you shut
tissues.
the
Let's
door
go in and let me get you
immediately.
some
No,
tissues.
listen, you shut the door immediately. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, obviously, you can't
Yeah,
control, let's say, a man's
yeah.
taste
Yes,
in a
if
woman. Like,
it is
what you
egg, I
expect,
see
what
you
you
can make
expect.
it will be
Yeah.
more.
So that's fine. But no, do you see? Immediately no. Like I think that's a huge problem with, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
Ghanaian women or just women in general. But a lot of us are very interested in being nice, right? And being like it's like we are almost afraid to say no, but it is very okay to say no. It is very okay to know what you want and say no. Even if they say you don't respect or like you are being rude, you are not being rude. You can say please no. And you said please no. And because you are rejecting the person is hurt, their ego is hurt. So they want to like sort of either insult you or make you feel lesser than. But no, right? If now you want to
Now
insult
I
me,
didn't
but you saw
insult
me
me.
and you like me, that's why you came. Because I said no,
Yeah.
why are you insulting me? It is very okay as young women to say no to the things that we do not want. It is very okay. And I
Yeah.
think we have to learn to say no and say no
Word.
immediately. Like a lot of us will be like, oh, it's fine to just be nice. But no, why are you giving him your
Yeah.
number when you never pick
I
up
do
the call? It's
that.
not
I'll give the
necessary. Like
number, but I'll air
you are
you.
not being rude. No, but you're not being rude. You're just saving
That's
yourself
true.
unwanted stress because you gave him the number. Now he's calling you. You now have to block. Why are you wasting 2 minutes blocking
Babe,
the
you
person
never
when you
know.
could
What
have
if?
said
What
no on the
if?
spot and made it very clear? No, you see, this is exactly the. It is okay to say no and to say no immediately. It is okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, just be respectful about it. You can even say respectfully, no, but no means no, right? This is, I think sometimes either men are not used to hearing the no because, like, either people are afraid or they want to be nice, or I don't know, like, some people appreciate honesty because giving people mixed signals, whether you're a man or a woman, is not okay. Because you can't be nice to me for the sake of being nice, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden
That's not
you are
nice.
airing me, you are being this. Like, if I knew right from the start, as a man, I wouldn't have wasted my time because I would have known you were not interested because you made it very clear to me. Like, from the point where I say no and you decide that, oh, I'm an
Whatever.
alpha male, I like to chase. That then becomes your problem because I was
Yeah.
honest and upfront to you right from the beginning and I told you no. So yeah, like you can't control who is attracted to you, but you can control how much like space you give them in your life, whether they can call you once for you to say no or like you say no immediately. Yeah. I mean it's up to you. Like sometimes you are not in a safe enough space to say no, or you don't
Yeah.
feel safe enough to say
You
no,
have to be
which is
smart as
fine,
well. Yeah.
right? But
That's very important. Yeah.
yeah.
Knowing how to navigate these situations. Okay, with that being said, I feel that as females, no, okay, generally as human beings, we encounter problems with the people we meet, aside acquaintances, the people in our lives, family members, friends. I would like to know how you deal with some of these difficult situations. If you should have a situation or a problem with a colleague, a friend, or a family member, how do you usually deal with it? What's your
Yeah.
approach?
That's a good one because it took a lot of growth for me to get to this point where I think I'm okay with, in the sense that I'm a very emotional person. Like I cry when I'm happy, I cry when I'm sad, I cry when I'm angry, right? And I think a lot. Like I'm one
Yeah,
of
not
those
an
overthinkers.
overthinker in
So
Jesus'
if
name.
something
You
happens,
overthink sometimes.
amen. I overthink sometimes.
Yeah.
I have tendencies to overthink. And being like both emotional and having the tendency to overthink means that you can get stuck in your head a lot. And the least
Yeah.
thing someone says can affect you, can affect your mental health, your whole mood, destroy the whole day for you, right? Depending on the situation, I've learned like it used to be so difficult for me to confront my emotions. And like, I definitely know myself. That's like step one, know yourself and what works for you. So personally, I find it a bit difficult to access the emotions immediately. Like I'm very hurt. I would prefer not to speak on it like at that particular point in time because I don't know what I'll say and I know I might not be
For the
accountable.
words.
You are always accountable. You are always accountable for what you say.
Yeah.
But like when you say it in anger or in hate, what you're saying ends up being much worse. So I take time to cool off, to really think and put myself in the other person's shoes. So I give like best scenarios all the time. Again, maybe it's not the best because you are really overthinking, but you give a lot of options to yourself and the other person in the situation, trying to see maybe the person said this or reacted in this way because of this. The person just had a bad day, whatever it is. And I confront it. Like, I would take the minute or two, digest, come back in a sane space or in a sane mood and be like, you said this. I don't know if that's what you meant, but if it is what you meant, I don't like it. Please don't do it again. That, like, I don't know, honesty helps.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you are being too blunt, but honesty really helps you to deal with a lot of situation and cut through the BS and when people, a lot of people I work with would also appreciate it. It's like I don't have to guess where you are. I know, like, if you have a problem, you come to me and say it. You take me off desk, have the conversation that needs to be had. And I think I try to apply it the same way to family, friends. Like, you do something, I don't like it. I I take it away, chew on it a bit. I'm like, this is not something, especially if it's something you can't let go of. There are things that are very easy to just chalk it down to, oh, this person's having a bad day. Let's not make a fuss about it. But if it's something that genuinely hurts you and is disturbing, why are you there suffering with the anger and the hurt and the pain for 2 days when the person doesn't even know that they hurt you and they are living in peace? Share the pain, share the anger. Don't be the only one in pain.
Why
Go to the person and be like, you are the reason I'm feeling this way. Yes. Like, you are worried, do you understand? You can't sleep because somebody said something to you, but the person is having a good night's rest. Why should they rest while you are struggling? That's my policy. Like, if it's worrying me, I will share it with you. Like, this worried me. Please don't do it again. Or if you choose to do it again, then I'm obviously not important to you, or like my feelings are not important to you.
Calm down.
No. Like, I want to be very clear about some of these things personally for me, because I have learned to create a safe space for myself. Sometimes you want to cater to other people, you want to be respectful to other people, you want to be accommodating and give grace. But like, it's very important not to give grace where it will be detrimental to yourself. Like, you need, I think that's something that a lot of people like have a problem with. We do not protect ourselves enough. We do not protect our sanity, our mental health, and create a safe space for ourselves. We are so busy worrying about other people that we are doing it to hurt ourselves. And then, like, what's the point in not being able to give your full self to other people because you worry so much about them that you are less of who you are supposed to be? It's like you are toning down your brightness to cater to other people when you could be serving them so more, being like more of a light to everyone, when you protect yourself, your inner child, your inner peace, mental health, all this stuff. Like, I know people don't like cutting people off, but when you recognize beyond reasonable doubt that something is toxic to you, it's toxic to your peace and your safety, you need to distance yourself. Like, you can laugh, but laugh from afar. There's nothing wrong with that. So you need to know what is toxic, what shouldn't be in your space, what like becomes detrimental to your personal growth and even your growth with God and your relationship with God, right? Once that's threatened, like, you have to be ready to fight for God no matter what. Like, if you know that this thing or this person is pulling me away, why are you granting grace? Right? The Lord God Himself said, pluck out your own eye. Why are you keeping it in? Do you get? So, yeah, maybe it's a bit harsh, but first and foremost, protect your sanctity, protect your inner peace, protect your relationship with God. When something does not align with God, don't make excuses. Like, you have to be very honest to yourself. So, Yeah,
That's
that's how I
good.
deal with
That's
stuff
very
like that, I
interesting.
guess.
I think that it all boils down to balance and also learning when to let go and also prioritizing yourself and not just others. So, in a nutshell, I believe that's what you are trying to tell us.
Yes.
Okay, good, good, good.
Yes.
Interesting. We are learning a lot from you today.
I hope so.
Okay, so let's get more personal. Do you believe in self-care, and what is self-care to you?
That's a good one because it's a point I think I should probably be better at. But yeah, self-care is definitely important. I think during COVID, it
Mm,
brought it more to the forefront for me because like I don't want to say I was never someone who took mental health serious, but I just didn't think it
mm,
was very big of an issue because like when you grow up in Ghana, there's
exactly.
always community,
Mm,
there's always a safe space, like there's always someone to
mm,
run to or someone to make you laugh, to make you forget like things that are going on in your life. But you realize that when um you're alone in a different country, you don't have your
mm,
usual support system. You can't even go out because the world has shut down. And you all you have is your computer and you're working day and night and you don't spare yourself a thought. You don't take a moment away from it. It
mm,
all comes crashing down so quickly. And like you have two choices. Either you let it break you or you take a step back and decide what you need to cut off and like
mm,
decide that you are precious as a person because you cannot give out if you have nothing to give essentially. So yeah, sometimes you can run at 100 miles per hour because there are people
mm,
who are built like that. There are people who are built to always be busy, always be going. But when you realize that your store is depleting, you need to take a step back and literally say, okay, what things make me feel more energized? Like, what do I like to do that makes me feel like
mm,
okay, I can face the world again, right? Because sometimes you just can't. You are just not in the. You can't talk to anybody. You can't even form conversations because you are just that tired. And maybe if you're like me, it's a rom-com, like just watching a very silly movie that you know how it's going to end, but it makes you happy nonetheless. I mean, you can either watch it in your house or I do it sometimes. I take myself out to the movie. I get a very good hot dog. I get some Maltesers. I get something that's not good for me, like a huge cup of Coke. Yes,
yeah,
it's not the
cheat day
best, but it
once
makes
in
me
a
happy
while.
in the moment. So, yeah, whether cheat day or not, if I have to have it every day and that's
Mm,
what makes me happy, I will do it to replenish myself and like just
okay.
feel like myself again. And obviously having like other interests. I think
Mm,
like I talk about Formula One a lot, but Formula One really saved me at a point where I was literally like work home, nothing else to engage me in any other way. And being passionate about something just helps you to switch off from work and focus your
mm,
energies on something else. Yeah, so I guess that's my self-care now. Once or twice when I have money, a massage here and
ooh,
there doesn't hurt. Uh, yeah. What else? I mean, I guess it depends on the person. Some people like to maybe do their nails, do their hair, just feel pampered, like they've pampered themselves. Me, I'll just watch a movie. I'll just eat like very
yeah,
greasy
I'm even
food. It's not the
emphasizing the
best.
ones that you
Some
eat.
people,
See, mommy.
no, I mean, yeah, some people just have to eat
Yeah,
their
but you
sorrows
have to be
away.
careful either
Some people
ways.
are good at, yes, that's why I work out later when I come back to my
Yeah,
senses. And speaking of working out, like that's what people find like, encouraging. I don't know, those people, they really try because working out is not for all of us. But some people they work out, they go on a
you know.
treadmill, they bench press, and they feel revitalized. That's not me. I bench press food. and it makes me happy. But yes.
Yes,
Anyway, stay
very
healthy, guys.
important.
Don't say I encouraged you. Don't say I encouraged you to eat junk food, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's how I care for self, personally.
Thank you for sharing. I hope I got your handle correct. If not, I'll still post it under this post once I put it on my page, so you guys can check out her page.
Sandy B. After all these years, you still call me
There's no S.
Bajinks with an
Please,
S.
I'll type it
After all,
again. You know,
there's an
because
S before
it's
an S.
embedded in my conscious, like subconsciousness, like that's why I still add the S. Pardon me. Pardon me. I'll post the right one and this post. Okay, you've already touched on workouts. Pardon me. How many times in a week do you work out?
I've been good this month, so
Oh, that's
about 4
nice.
times a week.
You go to the gym or you work out at home?
Yeah, I try. No, so this is the thing. I try to do things I can sustain, right? So personally, I can go to the gym. I used to go to the gym or like jog every single day for
Wow.
like a year. And then I got tired. I was like, I've lost too much weight. I can't do this again. And I just gave up. So now I do things I enjoy doing, like swimming. I try and swim at least once a week. And then I have my yoga mat, feeling like a yoga master. I don't do yoga. I just do like things. They make me. I have
Okay.
a workout plan. Is all I can say. Like I do leg day and all of that. Yeah. So yeah, I try and work out
That's nice.
4
That's very
times a week.
encouraging. I'm encouraged.
Yes, I'm also encouraged. Let's just
I'm,
hope.
I'm really encouraged.
Yes, to hoping.
Wow. You're doing well.
So this is where the Ghanaian will, in me will say,
Yeah,
"Oh no, yes, I'm doing
accept it.
well. I'm
Accept your
doing very well."
flowers whilst you're here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, before you go, do you have any advice for us? 2 cents? Any 2 cents? Do you have
Advice.
some 2 cents you want to give us?
Um,
Aye.
Charlie, life is short. Life is really short. Do what I don't want to say do what makes you happy. Do what makes you
Mm,
happy within reason, right? Within the reason of your principles and your beliefs. Yeah, like
mm.
if it's not worth it, it's not worth it. Don't wait for a situation to get better. Debi it's not it,
Mm.
right? Be a person of action. If you don't like the
Something.
situation you are in, do something to change it. Yeah,
Thank you
that's
so
all I have to
much
say.
for the wise words and for honoring us with your presence and your experience. Pardon me?
Sometimes I'm
You're always
wise.
wise. Always
Sometimes.
wise.
I said
You'll be giving
sometimes
us
I'm wise.
words. You'll be giving us
Oh,
bars,
we
bars,
bless
bars on
God.
bars. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence. I'm so grateful and glad we're able to do this. Well, maybe we can do this some other time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Then we can talk about men,
Oh, I'm always
like men
available.
specifically.
Maybe,
Men.
or we can talk
Well,
about
but
Formula One.
then I'll
Maybe
have to
one day
learn. I'll
come
have
join
to
me
read
to
a lot
watch.
about that so that we can like.
No, you don't have to read. Just watch Drive to Survive. It's very easy. You see the basics, and it's like friendly because you're
Wait, why
watching a
don't you tell us
documentary.
about that
So,
before you go? No, what you do with
in
her
well,
pins
like
her
in general,
streets. So
Formula
she
One
has
or
yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
cool. So I have a podcast with my friend that I use
Mm,
to
yeah.
unwind and to find myself again. So it's on Formula One. It's a new passion that we discovered somewhere last year. We got into it, so we watched documentaries, we watched the actual races, we went to the actual
Daddy.
races, we read stuff. Yeah, so we read stuff, and now, well, we are not experts, but we try to break it down for people. Yeah, because like where we come from, people don't really know a lot about Formula One, or it's just not in the forefront of their mind. A lot of the time, it's a white man's rich sport, and to be fair, it's quite difficult to afford like some of the tickets or even afford to race in itself. It's quite an expensive sport, if not the most expensive sport. So yeah, it's just an opportunity to make it a bit more relatable to the people who are like us,
Okay,
essentially. So
so
that's
just
what
a
we do
quick one.
with it.
Can you tell those of us who do not know what Formula One is, something small about Formula One? What is Formula One?
So there was a point where I used to be among the people who said
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of guys racing in circles. No, there's so much more to it than that. It's a sport that shows like a lot of endurance, belief in yourself, because like for example, as a race driver, if you don't believe you are the best, there's no point even being
Confidence.
there in the first place. Like yeah, you
Yeah.
need to be overly confident. You need to be perseverant because like the diets and the training these guys
They
have to
died?
go through, like a lot of people think it's not a
Wow.
sport. Yes, like you have to be a certain weight. The car has to be a certain weight. You get
You,
weighed before
you
and
don't
after you get into
say.
the car. You need to have a certain lifestyle. Like your neck
What?
needs to be as thick as your thigh because yeah, because of the G forces that like hits the body when you are in the car, because you are going at like 200 to 300 miles per hour. Then you have to brake into a corner
Mm-hmm.
or a chicane, whatever it's called. And the force that hits you while you're in the car and you're braking at that speed. Like think about it when you're even in a saloon
Yeah.
car and you step on the brake very suddenly at let's say 60 miles per hour. Look at
Yeah.
how you are jolted, right? And then like translate that to 200 to 300 miles per hour, and you have to hold your position and keep the car in motion, right? So your body needs to be super fit. Your neck needs to
Thick.
be like really thick, else you just be rolling, 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 and like you come out and
Ooh.
your neck is gone. Essentially, you can't do anything. So you need to be very strong and fit to like be in Formula One. So when people say it's not a sport, trust me, it is. The temperatures in the car is like 40, 45 degrees plus, depending on where they are racing. I think they
Okay.
are racing in Saudi today. Saudi Arabia is already very hot. The track temperature is going to be hot.
Mm.
You are sitting on an engine, right? So and in an enclosed space. So you literally sweat away all your body juices, which is why people lose like 2 kg after racing
What?
in for just 2 hours. You have to stay hydrated. Like there's so much to it. Like there's so many angles to it that like the more you find out, the more it also helps you think
Yeah.
about like the kind of resilience these people have and how you can apply it to your own life. Like there are people who were told no so many times because maybe they didn't have money, they didn't have sponsors, and they just said no. I believe that this is my dream and I'm going to push through. There's this driver who recently broke
Oh
his wrist,
yeah, I
like he
saw
broke
your
his wrist, had
status.
surgery, and recovered. He recovered in 2 weeks. And you can't tell me it's not like
Mm-hmm.
resilience of the mind and just deciding I'm
Mm.
going to do this. So mind over matter, right? So these are like the kind of inspirational stories you see every day. And this is their everyday life for them. It's a spirit of excellence. Because the moment you let go, you are not going to be fast or you can
Mm-hmm.
die. Like that's just how risky it is. So there's just so many lessons to learn every single day from these guys. So that's like why I've become very
That's
passionate about it.
interesting.
So
There's a
yeah.
Ghanaian who was racing, right? What's his name? There's a Ghanaian F1 driver, right? Oh, he's not Ghanaian? We don't
Really
have any Ghanaian
Ghanaian?
F1
I
driver?
don't know him. No, he's no. We only have one
What?
black driver, let's say, but he grew up. Yes, in the whole history of Formula One, Lewis Hamilton is the only one. Yeah. So that just goes to tell you how difficult it
Hmm.
is to also break into it in the first place. So yeah, let's pray that I make money so
Yeah,
that I
I thought
can
you were going to say
sponsor
driver. I was like,
someone
what will your mother
into.
say?
No, it's too late. Like, and that's something else, right? It's something you need to
Oh,
decide to do from a very young age. If you have to start driving by
what?
latest by 7 or 8. So most of these guys started driving
You
at
mean
4.
four
Yes, they start
years?
in karting. Um, yes. So it becomes very natural to them. If you are like 11, 12 when you start, you are late. You are quite late. So yes, it means that you need to be believing in yourself, or your parents need to believe in you at that young age. And it's a lifelong decision not to have friends, like to combine school and working. It takes a lot. It takes
I
a
guess
lot
it's
to
very
make it. So
demanding then.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like you don't
And they are
have a
well
life.
paid.
You don't. Oh, of
Is
course.
it better or higher than
Of
football?
course. They are. They are.
The wages for football?
I don't know. I don't know. So the highest paid person so recently was Hamilton. He was upwards of
40
40
million
million a year.
pounds or
Um,
dollars?
yes,
Okay. Hmm.
dollars, I think. $40 million. And a lot
Oh,
of them, and this is outside of like
okay.
sponsorships and stuff as well. And then a lot of the really good guys are like 20 million. Verstappen is also on 40 million now.
Is
Leclerc's
he your
like
favorite?
20 or 18 million thereabout. Of course. Yes, he is. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of
Mm,
money. They are risking their lives every time they drive, so
yeah.
the
I guess
pay has to be worth it.
they have insurance as
Yeah.
well since they use vehicles and all that. They have like health insurance.
I wouldn't know. I don't know any insurance company that
Why?
wants to insure a racing driver. It's like, but he would die. But he would like he would definitely die. So he's not a safe bet. But maybe they do. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But if I was an insurance company, why would I insure someone who's more likely to die? Like he's actively
Mm-hmm.
participating in something that would cause
So
death. That
in that
shouldn't be
case, you present it with a
insurable.
package that is worth it, like one that is expensive.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think you guys
probably.
should look
Yes,
into it and
probably.
see if they are
So
insured or not, because I think they have to.
so I will like give them
You're in
insurance.
the finance department. You never know if your company decides to insure one of them.
No, that's not the kind of finance we do. So like I was wondering where we were
No, no, if
going.
your company decides to go into insurance, you can like school them. I believe it's a niche, like there's a market for that.
Okay.
They have to be insured because it's too risky.
I will.
I'm
Yeah.
going go and
I
find
guess we'll
out.
never know. Or
Yes, go
I'll
and
find
find
out.
out.
Fine. I'll find out. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so
Anyway, I've got
much.
to rush because race. Thank you for inviting me. And thanks for everyone who joined
All
in
right,
and
thank you
listened.
so much. Bye. Love you. All the best, yeah?
Bye.
Yeah,
Ciao.
you'll be going live in a few minutes,
Thanks.
right? Okay.
I don't know if we'll go live
Oh,
again.
okay.
We went live yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. So I'll attach her handle so you guys can check her page, her personal and then her business or podcast page as well. Please, they're going to
Hey,
be getting
business.
sponsorships and
Don't
deals
say
and stuff,
business.
so don't
Oh,
worry. It's a business page. Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Amen.
Bye. Thank you so much. Yeah, love you.
Bye.
Bye. Hi guys, thank you so much for sticking along. I hope you enjoyed the session and you learned a thing or two. Hope to see you next week or the next time I catch you. Bye.